Okay, so you mentioned that that if it were something that was comfortable, even though it wasn't your color of choice, or if it was cute, you would definitely be willing to give it a try.
Yes.
Okay.
I can always add something else to make it cute if I wanted to.
Okay. Um, the Under Armour, where it's used a lot, is in college, in
Okay.
college and high school sports. The reason why I'm telling you this is because, like you said, you've never heard of Under Armour. You're right. Nike is one of the big ones for football uniforms in professional NFL. Under Armour is used a lot for college games, and also there's something called the All American football team, and they all use Under Armour. High school kids are starting to use Under Armour. Professionals use it as well, but you did mention something that I thought that was interesting. That you said that it felt like if it was something to be worn under something else, and that's actually how they wear it. A lot of the Under Armour is their first layer.
Mm.
Okay, since you don't know much about the Under Armour brand, what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna pause this recording for a few seconds, and I'm going to show you the latest Under Armour commercial.
Okay.
Okay. Before we see that, once again, when you think of Under Armour, what comes to mind
Visually?
visually?
Um, something that like covers like maybe from your neck, like all the way down to your wrist and down to your ankles. It just covers your body and is form-fitting and kind of stretchy material.
Okay. Now I'm gonna pause and we're gonna check out that commercial. Okay, so we just finished watching the Under Armour innovation commercial. What did you think of the commercial and Under Armour, the brand?
Oh, okay. When I first saw the commercial, I was a little confused because
Oh, I'm sorry. First of all, have you ever seen that commercial before?
I want to say once it seemed vaguely familiar, like the very end, but certainly when it started, I felt like I hadn't seen it before.
Okay.
So when it started, I was a little confused because I wasn't sure what the Under Armour was exactly. Like I just saw people, doing their own sport thing, but I saw shoes, I saw clothes, I saw full body, I saw close up of the socks. So I wasn't sure if they're saying they make all of those things. But I didn't know like what exactly the product was until the very end with the lady in the blue. And what she was wearing was what I visualized what was Under Armour because she was all covered.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed on the guy that was doing the batting, he was wearing on himself the hoodie.
Yeah.
Okay, the hoodie. So the hoodie was just moving along with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice what he was wearing under the hoodie?
I would say like a short sleeve shirt. It looked like to me.
Was that moving under the hoodie, like, or with him on the hoodie?
I couldn't really tell if it was moving or not. I guess I didn't look at it that closely.
Okay. The socks. When you mentioned you saw some socks, how were they? Were they like your usual bunched up socks that you normally see when you see like tennis players, or what did you think of?
Well, the socks looked pretty comfy. I don't know. They seemed kind of thick from what I could see, and they were bright yellow. And I think the shoes matched. And it was like a close up of the socks. I'm like, okay, socks.
Okay.
I just thought it was interesting. Like, are socks that important? But maybe they are. I don't know.
After seeing the socks, the shoes, and close up of a few of the other I guess clothing,
Mm-hmm.
were you able to pick out the Under Armour logo?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
What was it?
It looks like two horseshoes on top of each other, like linked.
Like linked?
Yeah.
Going the same way, like a W, or?
Like one U's going up and then one U's going down, and then they overlap, so it looks like a U and an A.
Does that bring up the U and the A? Can you link that to Under Armour?
Well, I guess those are the initials for Under Armour.
Okay. So if you saw that out, would you remember what it is, or would you just?
Yeah. Well, at this point, now that I've seen the commercial, I would. But I think that if I had seen that on its own, I wouldn't even have recognized letters. It would just look like a symbol to me.
Okay. Now that you know what it means, do you recall any time seeing that?
It seems vaguely familiar. I couldn't tell you exactly, when I saw it or on what exactly, but it does seem vaguely familiar.
Okay. You mentioned that it was just a symbol. Example, Nike is just a swoosh.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw Nike anywhere, you would recognize it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Why?
Because I've seen it so many times.
Okay. So when you think of Nike, do you automatically think of sports? Do you think of comfortable clothing? Do you think of that's something I want to wear? Do you think of it's trendy? What do you think of when you think of Nike and their clothing?
When I think of Nike, I think of their shoes, actually. A lot more than I would imagine their clothes. I guess because I just have seen so many Nike commercials advertising shoes, so that's what comes up the most for me a lot. Shoes for basketball.
Okay. So it goes back to what you said. When you think of Nike, it reminds you of the basketball, and you think of the basketball guy dunking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Under Armour is what we're trying to do with Under Armour is kind of move away from being a young company into something more mainstream.
Okay.
Okay. So to you, how would Under Armour be able to accomplish that, to where if you saw the two horseshoes, we'll call them, that you would say, okay, that's Under Armour?
Well, I guess the same way I feel most things become mainstream is you just see them everywhere. When you watch a sport like baseball, the walls are covered in logos and brands, or you're driving to work and you see, billboards, or you could just be watching something random, some promo for a TV show, but they're standing in front of a wall that says, Bank of America 1,000 times behind it, so things like that. I think it just kind of subconsciously sinks into your brain, and you start picking up the signals and become familiar with the visual images.
Okay. So by saying that, do you believe that right now Nike, because people recognize the swoosh, that's one of the reasons why you would buy Nike over Under Armour if you just walked into a store and you saw Under Armour, Nike, Reebok, and the other brands?
No, I wouldn't say that I would buy a Nike brand just because I knew it more. I'm pretty unbiased when it comes to buying clothes, especially things for practical use, because I just want to make sure that it works.
Okay. When you do buy, are you cautious about the amount of money you spend on sports clothing?
Yes. I used to not spend much at all, and then my dad introduced me to these running shoes that were pretty expensive, and I thought, why are we spending all this money on a pair of tennis shoes? I can get some from Payless, or sneakers. But they ended up being the best shoes I've ever had, and super comfortable. They've lasted forever, and after having actually worn them and used them, I've become a believer, and I see the difference in quality. So now I'm definitely more open to spending more for athletic equipment or apparel if it warrants it.
Okay. Do you recall what the brand is of those shoes?
I want to say New Balance. New
Balance. Okay.
Yes.
So because you had a good experience with the New Balance, do you think it was the brand or the place where you bought them? Because you did mention that your dad took you to a specific place.
I want to say it was both. I felt good about the place, and I also felt good about the brand, because I tried a couple different versions of the same brand.
Okay.
So yeah.
Would you feel comfortable going into a Big Five, let's say, and without any help, going straight to the New Balance, knowing that they're going to be the best fit from all of the other brands out there?
Well, I would feel comfortable trying it out. I wouldn't automatically rule it as the best fit. I would know that I liked it and it works for me, but I wouldn't close myself off to trying other brands.
Now, the place that you try these, you mentioned that it was Run With Us, right? That was the name of it?
Yeah.
Okay. If they ever had other brands like this new, to you, this new brand, Under Armour, would you be opposed to trying it on?
Oh, of course not.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On a typical, let's say, shopping spree for clothing to run. You mentioned that you like jogging. How much would you spend on a shirt?
On a shirt? You know, I'm not sure. I haven't bought a shirt for running in a very long time. The ones that I have I've had forever. So I'm not sure how much I would spend on a shirt. If I really liked it and I thought, wow, you know, this is gonna be great, you know, I had a lot of confidence in it, maybe I'd spend like $30.
$30 on a top?
Yeah, on a top. But I mean, I would have to really like it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if somebody gave you that top and you knew that it was $35, $40 and they gave you the receipt? Would you return it for your money and get something else that you know is more economical, or would you just keep it?
If I liked it, I would keep it. If I didn't like it, I'd get something else.
Okay. But would you willingly go spend those $40 yourself to get that same shirt if you liked it?
Oh, to get like a second pair?
Right.
If I really liked it, yeah. If it convinces me and makes me a believer in that shirt, then yes.
Even if it was over what you initially said you would be your max spending on a top?
Yes.